All right, so let's get started with our strap standing today. And we're gonna practice our mountain pose posture. So I went over on Sunday's class last week the prana pump idea and holding our strap. So we're gonna start off with just a little review with that. So you can step in the loop or put it over your head. If you don't have the strap, you can just put your hands here across the bottom of your rib cage to get the feeling of what the strap's gonna do. But I just wanna show you, you get the idea, how I put this strap right at the bottom ring of my rib cage. Because when we go to open the chest, there's a tendency to dig the back ribs forward and down. And instead, I want you to be able to keep your rib cage in this neutral position when you go to open your chest. And then we're gonna explore, well, what the heck, what do we do when we backbend if we're trying to really hold the rib cage in neutral? The short answer is you don't. There's a new movement that starts to come through the thoracic, but first we just have to learn this. So with our prana pump, or the strap on the prana pump, the bottom of the rib cage, the diaphragm, or the hands in that position, I want you to stand with your feet hip distance apart, not leaning on the inner or outer foot, but balanced, not leaning into the heel or the toe mounds, but feeling 50-50 weight. And then take a slow, steady breath and feel all four sides, the whole circumference rather, of the bottom rib cage opening up. And as you breathe out, feel the rib cage draw back in and down. As you breathe in, feel the strap expanding, rib cage expanding into the strap. And as you breathe out, feel it draw back in. One more time, slow, steady breath in. And let it out. Then as you inhale, float your arms up and overhead. Feel that your weight is balanced across your feet. And exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. All the way down, let your head drop. Now little bend in the knees in this first Uttanasana as you let your head drop down. Feel with the bend in the knees, the hamstrings can go slack and then stretch more evenly. Not completely slack, but you'll get into the hips and the hamstrings more evenly. Let the back of the skull drop down. Feel the arms heavy. Then keeping the bend in the knees, I want you to slowly roll yourself back up. Feel it working your way up the spine, each vertebra. Roll yourself back up. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Tip from your hips. Bend your knees, let your head drop, arms hang heavy. Slowly roll yourself up, pressing evenly through the feet. Rolling the back body opening, starting to wake it up. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Now inhale, come into the flat back. Hands to shins, fingers on the floor, whatever you need. Plant your hands and step back into plank pose. Hold in your plank. Now feel that rib cage in its neutral position. You're not dipping into the strap, but you're not overdoing, pushing the ribs into the back of the strap. As you reach down between your big toe mound and second toe mound, engage your legs. Lift the top of the thigh bone. Feel the top of the thigh bone, the front of it, release away from the skin. Backs of the legs strong, hips strong. And then keeping that feeling through your left thigh, bring your right knee up to your right elbow. Change, left knee up to left elbow. Change, right knee up to right. And then we're going to see if we can pick up the pace a little bit, but still moving consciously. Keeping the rib cage in its position, the back leg integrity, all the muscles turned on when you lift the opposite knee. so that your body isn't collapsing each time you go to pick up a knee. Keep the roots staked, the muscles turned on. It's just like if you ever did a pop-up tent when you're camping. You want to keep your stakes down. Okay, then set your knees down, lie down onto your belly. Really flowing with the analogies lately that probably don't make any sense. Okay, take your arms all the way forward. Okay, so you have this rib ring here. It's a reminder not to let the ribs harden into the floor. Instead, we're trying to create more of a neutral feeling. We're going to take the arms out into a Y position, little review from last Sunday, and we're going to try to turn on the top of the shoulder while lengthening the underside of the arm. So we're turning on the deltoids. As the head drops down, back of the shoulder is going to turn on too. Smooth the front ribs down towards your hips. And as you exhale, lift your hands up. Now engage your legs and lengthen. Lower back down. Again, lift up. See if you can go a little bit higher, feeling the muscles in your back turn on. The scapula starting to wake up and moving on the back. Hands back down. One more time, stretch through your toes. Make it a whole body pose, so get longer as you raise your hands up. And hold for 10. Don't let the upper traps take over. Then bend your elbows back into cactus position. Bring your hands back by your side ribs, stretch your chest forward, and stretch back into down dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, pressing evenly through the feet, raise your arms. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale into chair pose, arms forward. Press the palms together straight out in front of you. Get back like you're into a chair. And then keeping the neck long, the rib cage smooth into its position, lift your hands up into that Y position. Stretch through the fingers, turn the thumbs back, but make sure that neither side of your rib cage sink forward. Bring your hands back down, sit 1 inch deeper. Lift the hands back up into the Y position, but flow the spine long. Make sure the upper traps don't take over, but you feel at the base of the neck here, it can release down. The inner collarbone closest to the center can release down as you lift the outer blades and press out. Hands back together in front of you, sit 1 inch deeper, and then lift back up. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank pose. Hold there in your plank. Turn on your legs, turn on your core, ribs in. Bring your left knee up. Change, right knee up. Change, and keep going side to side here, but slow enough so you can keep everything turned on. And then we're going to do twisting action. So taking the knee to the opposite elbow. Hold in plank, lower on your belly. Arms go forward. Here we go, 3 times again. Forehead goes down. Turn the thighs so the groins are facing each other. All 4 corners of the knees point straight down. Lift up. Just with the hands, head stays down, reach through your toes. Engage your core. Hands back down, 2 more. Lift back up. Back down, 1 more. Legs strong, glutes engage, belly draws up. Then bend in the cactus position. Place your hands by your side ribs, roll your chest forward in cobra. Lower your chest down and press into plank. Stretch back into down dog. Walk your feet all the way forward. Inhale into a flat back. Got this little tail now. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank pose. Hold in your plank. Keep your ribs in. Collarbones broad, legs turned on. And now with the straight leg, lift your left leg up behind you. Change. Lift the right leg up behind you. Change. Left leg up. Change. Right leg up. Now we're going to get kind of tricky. Without locking your elbows or your wrists, stay lifted up out of the wrist. See if you can tap your right hand to your left shoulder. And then change. Lift up to your core so you're not sinking. Keep the legs turned on, change. Keep the rib cage lifted. And change. Lie down on your belly. Stretch your arms all the way forward, reach to your toes, reach to your fingers. Bend the elbows back into cactus. Hold there. Rib cage in, navel up. Engage your legs, groins face each other so the thighs are parallel. Neutral. Forgot words there for a moment. Then place the hands by your side ribs. Okay, now, with your hands here at your side ribs, elevate your head just slightly. Now I want you to take these back ribs right here, just above where the strap is, where the thick ribs start, and then start to move those towards your collarbones. Do not move them down into the ground. Move them into the collarbones. It's a different feeling. Can you feel how you can still keep the memory of Uddiyana Bandha, which you learned from the arm balance course already? If you haven't done that one yet, feel that the navel still draws up the front of the spine. Those back ribs stretch into the collarbones, and now the collarbones can expand. Spread across the shoulders. Wider shoulders, strong legs. And then keeping that action, see if you can start to roll yourself up a little higher. Don't let those back ribs dig into the ground. Keep moving them into the collarbones. Oh, now we're getting a deep back bend. And then lower your chest. You get a true back bend that way. Come back up and stretch back to down dog. Now what I notice from teaching yoga, I'm a yoga teacher, and I teach people in person all the time. Well, not so much anymore. Who knows if ever we'll get to again. No. But what I've noticed is that often we'll just move from where we're stiff and weak. So the lumbar will just take the burden of the back bend, and over time, that's seriously bad news for the lower back. And you can end up burning out your lower back if you're not doing the up dogs right, because we do them so much. Walk your feet all the way forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Now you can lose the strap if you like, but just keep the memory of it. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank pose. Hold in your plank, strong in the plank. Lie down onto your belly. Inhale into the cobra pose, same way that we practice, moving those back ribs, flowing the groins towards the big toes. Feel that it's like a deep stretch. It's not just letting your ribs crush into the ground. And then if you can maintain that and start to roll yourself up higher, but you might feel on one side or even on both sides that they're trying to dig into the floor. Keep moving them into the collarbones. Stretch the elbows back, inner elbows back. Lower yourself down, press straight up into plank from here. Engage the legs, engage the glutes, lift the hips, and then push up. Downward facing dog. Again, as I mentioned before, if it's difficult to push up from the ground like that, I recommend getting really strong, practicing that before trying the full chaturangas. Walk your feet all the way forward. Flat back, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Now let's do something that resembles more of a flow as you release your arms to your side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower into chaturanga. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Now don't just go into it without awareness. Practice what you've learned. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Raise your right leg up behind you, but keep the memory of the strap on the ribs if you're not wearing it anymore. Shift into plank, pull your knee up. Step your foot up to your thumb. Drop your back knee, but bring it forward right underneath your hip. Right foot to the right a bit. Now push down through your roots and come up. Take your left arm forward. The iliopsoas, the hip flexors, are going to contribute to how much we can move those back ribs the way that we want to. So we're going to start to move the left buttock button in and down. Take the left arm up. If your hip flexor is really tight, you might feel a stretch there, or you can add on by leaning to the side, and we'll try turning the chest down slightly. Gets a little more into the outer hip, TFL, front outer hip, and then angle the chest up slightly. Come back up, bring your hands down, step back, plank pose. Do an optional chaturanga, or just press back into down dog. Raise your left leg up, stay in your middle, make sure that your core stays engaged, the ribs in neutral. Exhale the knee to the chest, pull up, step your foot up, drop your back knee right underneath your hip. Inhale, come up. Move that buttock button in and down as you take your right arm up. Let the front rib drop back in, inner collarbone drop down, stretch up. And as you reach down through your right hip into your knee, take your arm over to the side. You can angle the chest downward slightly, upward slightly, just to get into the different fibers, feel what you need more. Come back up, bring your hands down, step back, plank pose, take a vinyasa or stretch back into down dog. Walk your feet to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower into chaturanga. Inhale into cobra, upward facing. Exhale, downward dog. Step your right foot up to your right thumb. Drop your back knee. Inhale, raise your arms up. Left buttock button moves down and in. Lift up through the front of your hip. Hands down, step back into chaturanga. Inhale into cobra, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Step your left foot up to your left thumb. Lower your back knee down. Inhale, raise your arms up. Bring your hands back down. Step back. Vinyasa. From down dog, look in between your hands. Step or hop up to the top of the mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into chair pose. Bend your knees, sit back. Stand Samasthiti. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step or float back, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot, warrior one. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Bend your knees and look forward. Step or hop up. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Stand Samasthiti. Ekam, inhale. Dve, exhale. Trini, inhale. Chatori, exhale. Pancha, inhale. Shat, exhale. Sapta, step your right, inhale. Ashto, exhale. Nawa, inhale. Desha, exhale. Ekadasha, inhale. Dwadasha, exhale. Trayodasha, inhale. Chaturdasha, exhale. Hold in your down dog, 5 breaths. Bend your knees, look forward. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Utkatasana chair. Stand Samasthiti. Join your palms together. Now practice tuning into sensation. So just feel that you have arrived, that what the aim of the practice is intending has already started to happen. You can feel that you feel united in the body, the breath, mind, body feel connected. And we'll take this inward focus now into the standing poses. Let's move through Surya Namaskar into the first. Open your eyes, inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step or float back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot. Warrior one, inhale, come up. Open up to your side for warrior two. Check out the little adjustment I do with my back foot. I turn it and angle it out just a little bit, and I go a little bit wider so that on the most width I can have in between the feet, but still standing steady on the feet and still being able to access the external rotation in the right thigh. So if you go super wide but your thigh starts falling in, better to keep a narrower stance and keep the leg tracking. Now feel the right sit bone lengthening straight down to the ground instead of twisting back behind you. If it twists back, then that rib cage connection will become compromised. So sit bone straight down, prana pump in, arms spread. But now I want you to see if you can create just a subtle, now this isn't what we want to do normally, but for today's class, since we're going to go into backbending, a subtle movement from those back ribs into the collarbones without them sinking forward and down like that, lifting up into the collarbones to support the opening of the chest. It's a different feeling. Can you feel it? I think you can feel it. Then let's go for side angle pose. Go forearm to thigh or hand onto the outside of the foot. Whichever one you do, make sure you don't go so low to where your left chest sinks onto your right. Ground into the center of your right heel bone. Drop that right sit bone straight down. Stretch from your back hip into your back heel. And then feel without those back bottom ribs sinking forward and down, take them up towards the collarbones. Stretch up. So it's a very subtle, mild backbended action. Again, not what we're always going for, but for today's class. Reach down through your feet and come back to warrior to keep that right sit bone low. Take reverse warrior, flip your palm, inhale. Bring your hands down, step back, vinyasa. Step your left foot for warrior one. Inhale to come up. Open up into warrior two. Look for the left sit bone action. Drop it straight down instead of letting it twist. Feel how it helps your left thigh to come into its place. Your widest distance here could be. Breathing into the entire circumference of the rib cage. And now, ever so slightly, start to move the back thick bottom rib towards the collarbone, just above the floating ribs. Spread across the front of the pelvis. Let the front of the pelvis open. Then tip from your pelvis out over your left thigh. Put your hand down. Forearm on the thigh, hand on the floor, hand on the block. But don't let your chest collapse. Keep the chest open as the right arm goes over. Ground that left center heel. Let the top of the left thigh bone release down a bit from the skin, right up by the left hip crease. Stretch that back leg. Move up through the collarbones without the back ribs sinking down and forward. Don't strain in the neck. So the quality of your breath in your neck will teach you a lot about your psychology in the pose. Are you trying to attack the pose? Is there no energy? Are you just hanging in the pose? Come back up, but keep that left sit bone aiming straight down as you come up. Reverse, flip your palm, inhale. Bring your hands down, step back, vinyasa. Step your right foot, warrior one. Open up into warrior two. Modified side angle, put your hand down on the inside of your foot, take a half bind or a full bind. So as you warm up, you might be able to go a little lower. Like now I can put my hand down, my chest doesn't collapse. Just feel what works for your body. Ground the center heel, let the sit bone drop down. Feel how it wants to twist behind you. Instead, use your right outer hip to keep it strong as you stretch your back leg. And then straighten your right leg halfway, keeping the center of the femur in the socket on a track with the right ankle. Femoral head. Then rebend your knee. Open up your arms. Scoot your back foot in a foot closer. Put your right hand a foot in front of your pinky toe. Now keep the right leg tracked, the right sit bone, aiming straight in the line of the heel as you raise your back leg. Oh, I have to use so much more muscles to do that instead of just sinking in the joints. Reach through the back foot, don't just let it hang. Back leg and spine like mountain pose. So if I were to take a picture of you and just cut off your leg, your right leg that is, and turn the picture on its side, look like you're doing perfect mountain with your arms out to the side. Now bend your right knee. Lower your left fingertips down. Lower your left leg to meet your right. Malasana, squat down. Lower the buttocks to the heels. Take the arms forward along the insides of the knees and let the front ribs release, front bottom ribs draw in and down towards your hips as you let the back ribs open. Now bend the elbows back, hook back and put the hands down right underneath your shoulders. Let your belly hollow, shift forward, lean the weight up into the hands, hollow out the belly. Now without your belly pushing down into the floor, keep the vacuum feeling, lift the left heel to the left buttock, and then push the left heel back behind you. Keep the belly in, don't let it pop forward. Change legs, bring the left foot down, belly softens back, right heel to the butt, and then reach back. Don't let the lower back close. Bring that leg back, set your feet down, take a breath, pick up into crow for a breath, and then float back, or just step back into downward facing dog, or take a vinyasa, up to you. I don't know how to turn that thing off. All right, back into down dog. Let's try out the other side. Step your left foot. Inhale, warrior one. Open to warrior two. Modified side. Half bind with the right hand behind your back or full bind. Drop that left sit bone straight down. Now slowly start to straighten the left leg, but notice the tendency for the sit bone to want to twist out. Rebend that knee. Put your hand down. Scoot your back foot a foot closer. Slide your left hand a foot in front of your foot. Now lean into the foot. Wait. Track the left sit bone. Then Lift that back leg up, grow the back leg, push through the back foot like it's into a wall. Right arm goes up. Remember your prana pump. Don't close off the back. Breathe through your nose. Then bend the left leg. Lower your right hand and the right leg next to the left. Now take your feet outer hips distance apart and lower your buttocks towards your heels. Then lift the buttocks up, slide the hands to the back of the heel, thumbs on the inside of the ankle, fingers on the out, brace the back of the heel, and then start to wiggle the shoulders behind the legs. Hollow your belly. See if you can plant the hands down. If that's all going well and your body's not freaking out, keeping the hollowed out feeling through your belly, maybe you can cross the ankles and then hold and balance. Uncross the ankles, put the hands down in front of you, step back, take a vinyasa, or just go right back into down dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, reach down through your feet as you raise the arms. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, twist. Take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Drop your sit bones down to about the level of the top of the knee if possible. Make sure the left shin hasn't sank forward. And then telescope the spine forward as the sit bones reach back. Shift the weight over into your right heel. Slide your left leg back into crescent twist. Press down through your left big toe mound. Lift up on your back thigh. Draw energy up through the spine, but don't overdo and close off the neck. Put your right hand on your hip. Place the left hand a foot in front of the foot. Step up to balance. Just like we practice, lean into the right leg. Use your strong leg muscles and core muscles to lift the back leg. Use the block if your upper back is rounding. Then reach through the back foot like it's into a wall. Spin and take your right arm up. Don't let the groins cross. Flow each groin to its own ankle. Then step back into twisted triangle. Bring your hands to the mat. Step back into down dog or take a vinyasa. Bend your knees and look forward. Step or hop to the top. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Stand, Samastiti. Inhale into chair. Twist to your left. Let the sit bones drop back and down, almost to the line at the top of the knee as you lengthen, twist. Shift your weight over into your left heel. Slide your right leg back. Then put the left hand onto the hip. Right hand goes a foot in front of the foot and step up. Stretch from your right hip and buttock into your back foot. Back foot like it's pushing into the wall. The heel, big toe, little toe mound. Turn from your right ribs instead of yanking your left arm back. Then step back into twisted triangle. Feel what's happening with your neck, throat, jaw, and your breath right now. Bring your hands down, step back into down dog, or take a vinyasa. Step your right foot for warrior one. Inhale to reach up. Straighten your right leg, go hands behind the back. Roll your chest and shoulders open. Back foot comes a little bit closer and fold forward out over your right leg. Inhale, find a flat back. Reach the arms straight back behind you. Step into warrior three. Bend your right knee, step back into warrior one, raise your arms up. Now, as your arms go up, notice the tendency of the back bottom ribs to sink forward and down. Instead, lift those back bottom ribs up into the hands. Now keep that lift as you lean out over your leg. Keep reaching them into the hands. Backwards reach into the hands, don't let them sink. Reach them into the hands, step back up into warrior three. Keep reaching, reach, reach, reach. Keep going. And then arms to your side as you come up to stand. Mountain pose. Woo! Press down through the left heel. Hug your right knee up to your chest. Hold there, take your big toe. Hold there or stretch your leg out. As mentioned before, you can hook your heel up onto something if you struggle with this one and use a strap on your foot. That'll start to teach your hamstrings to open up. For those of you with tight hamstrings, struggling and holding your big toe isn't going to get you anywhere, I don't think. Just tighter hamstrings. Change hands and twist. Open up to your right. Come back to center, arms up. Bend the left leg, wrap your right leg over, and cross your right arm under. Uncross your arms and legs, stand in mountain. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Step back, vinyasa, or just go right back into down dog. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, come up. Bring your hands behind the back, reverse prayer, or press your knuckles together. But whichever one you do, I'd like you to get your hands up into your middle upper back. Then as you open up into the feet and reach down, inhale, tip the heart up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, make a flat back, arms stretch straight back. Feel this right left hip crease move back as you stretch the chest. That's what's going to help you to unlock the spine and get into the core. Then step into warrior three. Feel that hip crease move back as you lift the back leg. If it juts forward, the outer hip turns forward, the whole thing is going to turn off. It's not going to work and get into the core the way that we're going for. Hip crease back, outer hip back and in, lengthen through the core of your spine. Then bend your knee, step back, warrior one. Oh geez, here we go. Move those back ribs up into the hands. Don't let them sink forward and down. Go up, up, up. Now lean out over your knee. You can just hold here working that action or step up. Hip crease, back ribs, reach. And come up to stand. Mountain pose. I know, right? Press down through the right heel. Bring the left leg up. Hip crease drops down as you stand tall, hugging your leg up. Hold there or take big toe. Hook the foot onto the wall or something if you're struggling with hamstring tension. I'll show you could see if you're really tight. Change hands and twist. Just looks like that. Oh, that's the hack. Life hack. You just have to make sure that the standing leg can still grow. Ooh, it's a really deep stretch on the hamstring that way. Tight hamstring club, take the support. Good, come back to center, arms up. Bend your right leg and wrap your left leg up and over. Cross your left elbow under. Release that, stand in mountain. Then step your right foot back about 3.5, maybe 4 feet if your legs are longer. Hands on your hips. Turn your shoulders, elbows back, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Unlock the ankles and the knees. Let the head start to drop, keeping the hands on the hips. Set the fingertips down and inhale into the flat back. Let's go into that side lunging. Keep the stretch to your left inner leg as you bend your right knee. Change sides. Change sides. Maybe go a little deeper. You can swivel the left heel up to let the hips sink a little deeper. And change sides. Then come back to center. Inhale, find the flat back. Hands to your hips, come back up. Clasp your hands behind your back or take your arms into the strap. Roll the chest and shoulders open without hardening the bottom ribs forward and down. Now lift up into the upper chest through the back rib. It's a different feeling. Okay, then start to tip forward. Yes, so we can still get a backbended action when we're looking for it. You don't have to be rigid. Always when you learn a new instruction, there's a tendency to overdo and to like steer too much that way. So ultimately, we're gonna go for balance. And then when it's appropriate to use it and not. Reach into your feet and come back up. Go over to the wall for your inversion time right now. Handstand, headstand, or forearm balance. Or you can stay in the middle of the room and work on down dog on your forearms. Or you can just hold a long Prasarita Padottanasana, up to you. I'm gonna work on showing you the handstand preparation today. So if you wanna try that, you can try that with me. Otherwise, do your thing. So I'll measure a leg's distance away from the wall. If your shoulders are tight, you can go a little bit further to give yourself some space so it's not straight up and down. The hands plant right in front of the toes. Hands shoulder distance apart, no wider. You want to see that the center of your wrist is lined with the center of the shoulder. Then as you press into the hands, feel from the outer blades, they're reaching towards your pinkies. The rib cage is in, and from your strong abs and rib cage, you'll step 1 foot to the wall just above your hip, and then you'll see if you can weight into the hands and lift from the abs, rib cage, hips to go up, so you're not sinking into the hands. Stretching the hands, lift up out of your shoulders. And then if it's going really well, keep reaching the buttock into the heels. Maybe you can start to bring the hips up over the shoulders. Lower yourself back down, take a breath. Repeat that one more time, or turn yourself around and kick up to the wall. Up to you. Or you can throw in a headstand. Last 5 breaths. Lower into child's pose and reconnect your breath. All right, then come to a kneeling position. Let the tops of the thighs drop down. Walk your hands a foot behind you. Drop the sit bones down. Roll your shoulders open. Start to stretch and extract the side ribs from the hips. And then maybe lift your hips up. Reach through the quads down through the knees. Stretch the legs. Lower your butt down. Come into low lunge. Right foot forward, left knee down. Rock to the top of the knee. Stretch your butt forward as you reach the chest, and stretch the buttock towards the back of the knee. You can hang out here getting that stretch, or to intensify the stretch, you can hook the foot. Release that, come into half or full splits. And change sides. All right, so same drill on this side. You can start with the back knee bent, reaching the top of the kneecap down, dragging as you stretch. And you might feel a decent stretch there. If you need to add on, you can reach back with the hand and clasp the foot. Not a requirement if you're already feeling a deep stretch in the last variation. Then release your foot, come into half splits or full splits. And release. Okay, now that we stretched out the quads a little bit, we got the hip flexors earlier. Now we're gonna do that supported back bend that I was mentioning. So I'm gonna show it over this ball, but you can do it over the back of your couch, over a kitchen table if you kind of bend your knees and hook your back, or you can even do it over the kitchen sink. But what you're trying to do is hook the back rib right at the bottom of the shoulder blade. It could be done over the foam roller too. It's just, you don't really get the advantage of standing on your feet kind of that you get on this ball or on the kitchen, whatever. Okay, so I take the ball, so I put it right, it's supporting my back, and I can feel that as I adjust, I'm looking for the most back bend to come into right here as opposed to down here. All right, so I got that. And then I'm going to stay rooted in my feet, keeping the groins flowing down as I roll back and stretch the arms over. It'll work over your couch, over the kitchen, over the foam roller, or you can even do it over the block if you don't have the foam roller. Okay, now as you're holding it, flow the groins down, connect the hips to the feet, and then that back rib that we were practicing moving, move that up into your collarbone. See if you can stretch a little further. And then release. Okay, good. Then lie down onto your back, heels close to your buttock. First thing that we're going to do is the fish pose. As long as your neck's okay, we're going to use the crown of the head to move the upper back into the back bend. So lift up onto the crown and the elbows, gently reaching the crown down. I have barely any weight, mostly my elbows, and I'm just using the crown of the head to help to move the thoracic spine. It's the same movement that you're going to need to do over Dhanurasana. Now move those back ribs into the collarbones instead of letting them sink into the hips. Release that. Plant your feet. Lift up, position your hands. Let the inner arms plug into the socket. Open the hand into the mat. Turn the tricep in. Reach the elbows back to the wall behind you as the inner arms plug in. Hold there, practicing that action, moving the back ribs to the collarbones. Neck draw passive, or lift up onto the head in practice, or go all the way up. Level 1, stay here. 2, lift up onto the head, practice the actions there. 3, you can go all the way up, flowing the groins down into the knees. Move the back ribs into the collarbones. Keep the neck passive. Be in the hands and in the feet. Lower yourself back down. Take a breath. And then go back up one more time, practicing whichever phase, or you can just hold Chatush or bridge. Lower yourself back down. Find your breath. Open your arms out to the side. Cross right knee over left knee. Hips over to the right a little and legs over to the left. Bring knees and hips back to center. Change the cross of the legs. Hips over to the left a little, knees over to the right. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, I think you forgot to do all the core work. Don't worry, I didn't forget. We got some in at the beginning while we were doing that plank stuff, but good to work from the back too, which is what we're going to do next. Come back to center, and we'll start with opposite arm leg stretch, the most basic to encourage the strength in the neutral spine. So I want you to bring your hands to your right knee and stretch your left leg forward, keeping your sit bones reaching out of your back. Take your right arm back. So the left leg goes forward, the right arm goes back. Keep your neck long, jaw passive, and then change sides. Hand to knee, reach. Now you can even push your hand into the knee to help to engage your core a little better and push the knee into the hand. Then change sides. Push the hand into the knee, knee into the hand as you reach. Feel how it helps you to turn on your core. Change sides. Don't do it from your neck. Keep the neck flowing. Change sides. Change sides. Change sides. Then bring the legs in a table, Open your arms to the side. Take your knees over to the right, halfway. Abs in, left shoulder down. Turn your belly to the left to come back to center. Take the knees over to the left, halfway. Shoulder down, draw the navel in and turn it to the right to come back to center. See if you can go a little bit further, but we're trying to move nice and controlled. It's a stretch for the opposite arm as much as it's an abdominal strengthener. Keep going now side to side. Good, now hold the legs in tabletop position. Arms straight up. Crunch up to your knees. Hold there, abs in, lower back long. Reach your arms back, keeping your abs in. Abs in as you push your right heel forward. Crunch up a little higher. Change. 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 Set your feet down, set your arms down. Take a breath. One more round. Legs up in table. Crunch up to your knees, arms forward. Keep this crunch, hug the side ribs in, arms up. Arms back if you keep the abs in and stay up. Left heel forward. Change. Change. Stay up off the shoulders. Change. Now lower your head down and take your arms into cactus, legs straight up. Lower your right leg slowly. Ooh, Ollie's trying to scare someone. Doing a good job, Ollie. Change. Very scary. Change legs. Then hold both legs up. Lower both legs a third of the way. Ooh. Another third of the way. Buttocks out of your lower back. And back up. One more, lower a third of the way. Add ribs in, low back long. Lower another third of the way. One more inch. And back up. Take your feet the width of the mat. Let your knees swivel over to the right. As you look to your left, you can hold there or cross your right ankle over onto the outside of your knee to deepen the stretch. Change sides. Release, come back to center, take happy baby. Let your back body open up as you hold. Shoulders relax, the hips descend and release out of your low back. Then hug your knees to your chest. Roll yourself up to seated. And sit with your legs stretched straight out in front of you. Ground down through your hands. Ground through your sit bones. Balance your rib cage. Now let's take that same seat, but with the legs wide apart. Turn to face your right leg. Thighs smooth down. And then see if you can start to lean out over your right leg. Maybe even take a hold of your foot. back up, change sides, turn to face the left, lean out, and maybe even take a hold of the foot. Come back up. Bring the left leg into Janu Shirshasana. Now turn to face the left leg again, smooth the thigh down, keep this thigh weighted and the left sit bone down as you go out over the right leg. Slide the right hand towards the right inner foot, the left arm up and over. Now if you're really open, you could reach over and catch a hold of the foot, cool. If not, you can slide this hand behind the head and breathe into that stretch. Inhale back up, take the left leg wide, bring the right heel in. Turn to face your thighs, smooth it down and away. Take the left hand to the left inner leg and slide up and over. Inhale back up. Then cross your legs and fold forward, or take a single pigeon, a double pigeon, or a Gomukhasana. Up to you. We'll hang out here for 1 minute on each side. Release and change sides. Release that. Stretch your legs out. Raise your arms and inhale. Reach out for your feet. Lie on your back for Shavasana. Try to ignore the dog barking. No, but while you're in Shavasana, allow the senses to be enhanced inward. And the sounds around you, it's not that you're trying to shut them out, but they're going through you without focusing on them. Maybe it's like, I know you guys don't do this because you wake up and meditate right away, but some people, they like turn on their phone right when they first wake up and go onto the gram or something. And your eyes, they're kind of blurry, they can't focus right away. Everything's kind of out of focus. So you could think of the thoughts like that, just kind of out of focus. The sounds passing through, the thoughts passing through. All reminders to train yourself in. Then gently bend your knees. Roll over to your side. And press yourself up to seated. Bring your palms together. Thank you. Namaste.